Hi everyone! I am here today to review a product from Obsessive Compulsive Cosmetics, and specifically I'm going to be reviewing this lip tar set. I love the OCC lip tars, but some of the colors I find can be hit or miss, so I feel like swatch videos are extremely helpful, and I'm going to be swatching these 4 shades today. There are actually 5 lip tars that come in this kit, but one of them is clear, so I won't really be demoing that one. I've only used the clear one maybe once. The official name of this kit is the OCC Lip Tar Pro Pix version 3.0, and the Sephora website still has this kit in stock, and it's actually on sale right now. So if you're interested in this kit, you can still pick it up. Otherwise, if the kit has sold out by the time you watch this video, the individual swatches hopefully will be helpful if you're deciding on one of these shades to pick up on a standalone basis. So what does this set come with? It comes with a lip brush that you use to apply the product, of course. It comes with the clear lip tar, it comes with Femme, Electric Grandma, Authentic, and Radiate. So I'm going to go ahead and start swatching these for you. Just for your information, my skin tone is around NC25. Now the first shade I have on my lips is called Femme, and as you can see, it's a really light, cool-toned baby pink. The official description on the Sephora website is pink champagne. I find this color doesn't really suit my skin tone or style very well, but it does apply on very nicely and is rather opaque. The way I apply my lip tars is I put a tiny dot on the back of my hand, and then I go ahead and I dip the brush in and I just start spreading it on my lips. I like to put on a little bit at a time, and I'll start kind of in the center of my bottom lip and slowly fan it out, and then I'll put some on my top lip, and then I'll put my lips together like this, just to spread out the product and get it into any lip lines and such, and then I'll go ahead and I'll apply another very thin coat. I don't like to put too much product on my lips because I find that lip tars do tend to feather, and I don't like to use lip liners or anything like that, so my way of getting around the feathering is to just apply very little product. So as you can see, even though I just put on 2 very thin layers, the color still shows up very nicely on my lips and is rather opaque. Now in this particular lip kit, there are 2 different finishes for the color lip tars. 2 of the colors are matte and the other 2 are metallic. Now this particular shade, Femme, is classified as a matte finish, but as you can see on my lips and also by the swatch on the back of my hand, it's got more of a demi-matte type finish. So it's not quite matte, but it's not quite glossy either. In terms of the feeling on my lips, the shade is very comfortable to wear. I find the lip tars tend to feel a little bit drying on the lips, but they don't dry my lips out to the point of flaking or chapping or anything like that. So I do find them comfortable, however, they are slightly drying. Now this next shade I have on is called Electric Grandma, and this is one of the metallic shades. This is basically an orange-leaning coral shade, and the description on the Sephora website is Classic Coral Frost. Now I have to say that the first time I applied this shade, I really did not like it. It just looked really frosty and really dated to me. However, when you work in really thin layers and just apply a little bit of product at a time, I find that even the bright shades that are normally outside of my comfort zone can be quite wearable. So that's how I feel about this shade. It's not my first choice, not my favorite out of the bunch, but when you work with thin layers, I think it is quite flattering and quite wearable. The other thing I want to mention is that I've had my lip tars for a while and they do tend to separate over time, so the pigments will separate from the oils. So if that happens, all you need to do is basically turn the lip tar over and just let gravity work its magic, and then it kind of mixes itself over time. But if you're pressed for time and the product has separated, you can kind of squeeze the tube a little bit. Just be careful because I did have one tube burst. I was able to fix it, but it just made a huge mess. There is a ton of product in here and you need so little to apply to your lips, so even if you squeeze out a bit and it's a lot of oil, just keep squeezing and then eventually the pigment will come out and you can kind of mix that together and work with that on your lips very easily. So this is going to last forever anyway, so if you squeeze out a little bit too much, it's not going to be a big deal. The next shade I'm wearing is called Authentic, and this is a metallic shade. This basically has a copper look to it, and the official description on the Sephora website is Bronzed Copper Frost. So this is a very frosty shade. It's probably my least favorite of the bunch because I find it doesn't suit me very well. It looks fine on my skin tone. It's actually quite nice for fall, but the look just doesn't suit my personal style, which is why I'm not a huge fan of it. And I should mention the frosty shades have a ton of glitter in them. So when you wipe off the product, it leaves behind a ton of shimmer and glitter particles that I find are quite drying on the lips. So for that reason, the metallic finishes aren't my favorite. Now this last shade is my favorite out of the entire set, and it is Radiate. This is a beautiful red leaning coral, and the official description on the Sephora website is electric red coral. It is very bright and very bold. This shade also tends to feather the most out of the four that I've shown you, so you have to be really careful when applying this one not to apply too much product because it will start feathering, and you can definitely see the feathering in the swatch on the back of my hand. So again, I've just applied two extremely thin layers, and the color comes out beautifully, and I think it looks really wearable. This won't bleed into any of my lip lines because I've put on such thin layers, and it still feels very comfortable, and if my hair gets in it, it won't really make a huge mess. So I think that's really key with the lip tars, is to apply them properly. The last thing I want to mention about these lip tars is that you can mix them to create your own custom color. So that's great if you have a shade that maybe you think doesn't work very well with your skin tone. You can kind of change it up a little bit to come up with a shade that is more to your liking. So in this example, I've mixed a custom color on my lips, and basically I used Femme, which I felt was a little bit too light and too cool toned for my skin tone. So I went ahead and I mixed that with Authentic, which I thought was too brown and too kind of dark and coppery. So the combination of this gave me this look here. Now I'm still not 100% happy with this color, but if I wanted to tweak it more, I could by adding a little bit more brown or a little bit more pink, or maybe I could throw some of the red coral into the mix. So I do find that the lip tars are rather long lasting. Most of them, especially the darker shades, do stain your lips. So out of the four that I swatched, the two that stained my lips the most were Authentic and Radiate, and I did actually have some trouble taking all of the product off. So that is basically it for today. I hope you enjoyed my review and swatches of these four lip tars. I do have quite a few lip tars in my collection, so I will be doing swatch videos for the rest of them down the road, but I'll probably break it up into 4 or 5 different lip tars per video because I don't want it to be too long and too overwhelming. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any questions, please do leave them down below and I will do my best to answer. And until I see you next time, please take care and bye for now.